So, we have Emmanuel Vaughan. I'm sorry, let me say it right. Emmanuelle. Emmanuel Vaughan. It's French. It's really fancy. I've always liked your name. It's really fancy.
Thank you.
She's a new writer. She is also, you said you're working on if I remember right, it's a video game.
That's a project that I'm sort of working on. My business partner and I, we decided to create a video game with sort of the world that I'm building with one of my books. It's not currently ongoing at the moment. We're focusing on a couple other projects, and I've
Yeah.
been f focusing a lot on the writing, but that is a future project that we are looking to look into for sure.
So stay tuned.
Yes,
Because
stay
video
tuned.
games is the future. One day we're gonna be like putting, like, picture it, like people are gonna be putting those goggles on and it's gonna be your world that they go into. That'd be awesome. Tell the people about yourself. Why did you choose this?
Like the writing and everything, is that what you mean?
Like everything that you've done in your life up to this point. Like what led you here?
Well, I've always loved reading. I've been a big reader for many years.
Mhm.
That was just sort of my outlet um going on when I was in school, and I was just always shy to talk to people. I would just start reading and just really be encapsulated in a whole new world that I love to read about. And I've always loved fantasy. I really always I naturally started visualizing my own stories and worlds that I would create in my head, and occasionally just write down little notes here and there for some ideas of stories that I wanted to write. And a couple years ago, I finally decided to take it seriously, and writing felt sort of like a natural extension of my imagination. And I love storytelling, and I thought this would be a really great, just sort of outlet for me, and I've been loving it ever since.
What was it about writing that you loved so much? Like what did it do for you? You said it was an outlet. Outlet for what?
Well, an outlet for just sort of escaping whatever was going on in my life. I've never been able to sit still. I've always loved traveling and everything, but and I think just reading and being able to put myself in new worlds and new adventures was always something that I loved. And yeah,
Okay. So for the people who don't know, you've also had a background in modeling and things like that. A lot of people don't get to like experience that. So like, what was that like?
that was a very, very fun time. I mean, I started modeling when I was in high school.
Mhm.
Senior year of high school, I was always very, very shy, and I really wouldn't, I didn't really have very many friends. I was, uh, yeah, I just didn't really engage myself in normal activities that other people did. And one day, actually, it was really funny. I went to a concert here in Toronto. I went to the Ariana Grande concert for the Dangerous Woman tour. I'll never
Mm,
forget it. And as
good
I
album.
was
It was a good album.
really good album. I love that album. It's so good. And as I was leaving, like going through the crowd, leaving the building, there was actually a modeling scout there,
Hmm.
and he actually sort of pointed me out in the crowd and gave me his card, looked into the agency a bit, and I was interested. I brought my mom. I was 17 at the time, so I brought my mom with me, and then we really liked it. And I had been thinking my mom was sort of connected with somebody in that world, and I had been thinking on and off about it for a little bit, but being actually scouted like that really made me like, okay, this is something that I could actually do. And so I did it for a few years until COVID.
Oh, COVID killed it for you?
Oh yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, COVID killed a lot. COVID killed
Yes,
a lot.
yes,
Um,
absolutely.
has that experience, like, did modeling do anything for you with your creative endeavors?
Um, not so much as the creative endeavors, but I build a lot of confidence through modeling.
Mm.
As I said, I was very, very shy. I didn't really talk to very many people throughout my high school career or anything. And um, doing when I first did my first photo shoot and I would see the pictures, I really started feeling that boost of confidence in myself.
Ah,
And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I actually did switch over a couple agencies. And I but I loved it. I did a few fashion shows, a few photo shoots here and there, and it was really, really fun. I loved it.
are you still modeling?
Okay, I'm not with any agency at the moment.
Hmm.
Occasionally, if per se, like my mom knows a friend who has this boutique a couple hours away in a small town where my mom lives, and I've done a couple of seasonal fashion shows for her boutique, and I'm still connected with a couple photographers as well. But professionally, I don't do it at the moment.
I mean, because we might see you, on the runway or something one day in Milan, you know?
I mean, I'm always open to it for sure.
Wouldn't say no.
I wouldn't say no, exactly. I mean, I love traveling. I took off traveling for a while, and I am always open to taking off and doing that.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like I have a couple of friends who are like a couple Italian friends. I don't know why they're always Italian, but the Italian friends seem to just be fashion people.
Hmm.
And they're traveling to Paris and Milan, and I see them like real up close to the models on the runway, and it seems like it's a big thing to do that and be a part of that too. Not a lot of people get to experience that.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about the writing side of things for a little bit. You are working on this book series.
Hmm.
What is it that you want readers to take away? Like, let's just fast forward. The book is done, it's published, it's out. The reader picks it up. What do you want that experience to be for them?
I just sort of want them to really enjoy themselves reading this. Um, I've always, as I've said before, I've always loved just escaping into a new world, and that's just what I really hope that readers do. I
Hmm.
want them to fully imagine themselves in this world that I'm building, and really just sort of, I'm not sure, just like use that as their escape because I know it can be always really tough to see what is going on in the world. I know there's a lot of like heartache and lots of things that you can't control. Um,
Hmm.
but being able to pick up a good book and really have those few minutes to yourself and really just like put yourself into that and really have a good time reading it. That's just what I'm aiming for.
Okay, I like that. I've had the privilege of speaking with literary agents, authors like yourself, publishers. Like this is a passion for mine. This is a passion of mine because I have a similar story. Like a writer's book saved my life, the trajectory of my life at least. I was heading down a bad path, and so I know how important and how powerful books can be and what they can do. So I understand the whole escape concept. Now I've had the privilege of reading some of your work, and I'm not going to ruin it for everybody else out there because that's not fair to them or to you. For people who are just hopping on and were interested in you, what would you say your style is as a writer?
Mm, I mean, I've always loved sort the like romanticy, a little bit of dark romance here and there. But just I've always been a classic sort of romance girl who's always loved, the Disney princesses and all that.
Been
But
hot for about ever. I don't think it's
exactly.
ever gone out of style.
Never. And I don't think it ever will. I mean, that's just something that really hits home for a lot of
Mhm.
like women like me, because that's just what we grew up with. We grew up with
Hmm.
the Disney princess wanting to be saved by the prince, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's a lot of people these days who are always about changing traditional stories and saying, I don't need a prince to save me. I can be like strong and independent. And I mean, absolutely, you can be strong and independent, but there's always that little bit of yourself that wants that romance and
Hmm.
wants to be saved by the prince. And I think that'll never go out of style. I've always loved it. And just being able to sort of create that for myself has been a
Hmm.
really exciting sort of journey that I've been doing for the last couple of years.
Okay.
And my brain is never off, so I'm always thinking of new stories to write. I've probably got about 6 stories that I'm currently
Okay, so
writing,
this
thinking
this
about.
is a career thing for you. This isn't just a one-off.
No, I mean, I've never here and there, I never really thought of myself as being like a professional like writer, author, or whatever. I mean, I've always thought about doing that as sort of an outlet on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But I've always been a creative person. Um, I've switched through a couple of careers, but they've always touched that creative side of me. And I never really realized just how driven I would be into this just when I started,
Hmm.
because I've thought about it here and there for many, many years, putting like little notes in my little
Right.
phone of like, oh, this detail would be great in a story, or here, this is like a story about this or story about that. And I never really thought much about actually creating it. But then the second I started, I haven't been able to stop.
What was the moment that made you start?
I was actually traveling a couple years ago and I had I had a dream of this story that I'm writing, and
It
it was
seems to
so
always be a
vivid.
dream. With
I
all
don't
of us,
know
it's
what it's
always a dream.
about. I mean, I've never had such a vivid dream like this, and I was like, okay, this is a really cool, the elements that are being shown in this would actually be really interesting.
Yeah.
And so I just like wrote them out and started brainstorming a little bit here and there. And then I'm like, okay, now I have to start actually like writing.
Okay.
And as you know, I'm a big plotter.
Y- This
Um,
is good, by the way. This is
uh,
for those of you who are plot, please plot. It makes things
I
so
mean,
much easier.
exactly. I mean, but everybody has their different writing
Sure.
styles. A lot of people will just start writing and then things will just naturally come.
Hmm.
That's sort of kind of how I started with this story. But then the second I started like just doing the notes and everything, I started building more and more and more. And I could see things that could happen later on that I know won't happen right away. But
Hmm.
it's just always fun to sort of think about the different possibilities for it.
Okay. Um, has anybody been like a motivational force for you with this?
When I started writing, I found nothing but support from my family.
Hmm.
Um, I started just bringing my laptop everywhere I was, sitting on the couch while my family was watching TV, and I'd just be typing away, and they would be asking like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, what are you writing?" And I, I'm, I would tell them a little bit here and there, but
Right.
they would be very like very supportive of it. And they're like, "Oh, you should let me read it sometime here and there." And I'd be like, "Yeah, for sure." But then internally, I'm like, "Oh no, I don't want that." It's sort of like my diary when I'm writing this.
For sure.
And you're like,
Yeah.
you don't want your mom to look into your diary and look at
Yeah.
all of your innermost
Especially with its
thoughts and
romanticy
feelings.
and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
my
so
family
your
has been
family's
nothing but
supportive.
supportive. Yeah, absolutely.
Has anybody been a hindrance?
No, actually. Um, No, nobody's been a hindrance in my life for through this. And actually when I started writing it, my one of my best friends, she had also sort of dabbled in writing a bit as well. And so when I
Mhm.
told her I was starting this, she and I both started writing together. actually. So it was
Mm,
very nice sort of back and forth. We would like read each other's stuff here and there, and yeah, so it was always it's fun to have to open up like a Google Doc and see them like reading through
right.
my chapter and writing little notes here, and I would put like a designated tab for them just to like put in their thoughts and feelings on that. So it was always
It
very fun.
having a support group is so important,
Hmm.
especially with creative endeavors. Because unlike corporate endeavors, like with corporate, there's like the promise of the paycheck, right? So you know X amount of work equals X amount of pay. None of that is happening with the creative endeavor. You don't even know if this thing's gonna work a month from now. Like, and not just
Yeah.
with writing, with any creative and acting, modeling, like any of those arts. Music is another big one. You don't know. And so like oftentimes you are your own cheerleader. And so
Hmm.
having a group of people who at least can support you and cheer you on is so important.
Absolutely.
So important. Okay, so let's talk about the story itself. Now, without giving too much away, then I'm gonna try to do it. It's very good, by the way. I'm a little biased, but it's very good. Um, what are some of the themes that are popping up in your story?
Um, Themes I would say would be very, as I said, there is the like it is dark fantasy, and I want there to be that romance, but also I want that betrayal as well. Where, like what happens with when a character trusts somebody, but uh then there's like a whole new side to that person that they've trusted.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm always playing around with different ideas and different themes of it. So
What about any messages? I should have said themes or messages.
mm, always I think that for the message it would be just trust yourself.
Who are your biggest influences? Books, film, model.
Mm, I mean, you can't go wrong with Sarah J. Maas,
Of
and
course.
I'm actually currently rereading A Court of Thorns and Roses for
So good that it
it's
requires a reread.
oh, absolutely. Because I mean, she just announced the next release date for her next books. So, I mean, I have to reread it. It's been a couple years now, and I found the dramatized versions of the audiobooks, so I obviously had to listen to those. I'm
Hmm.
currently on the last one.
Were
I
they as
actually
good as the book, or are they?
It's it's actually really interesting listening to it because the first
Hmm.
time I didn't listen. The first time I read it
Okay,
without the audiobooks. Actually, I really never considered audiobooks like a couple of years ago, and now
for sure.
I do it a lot
It's
actually.
it's one of the biggest rising ways that people consume media now, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And having, especially with the versions that I'm listening to, the dramatized adaptations where it's multiple different actors, it's sound effects,
Hmm.
it's all of this going on in your head while you're just like doing your thing. Or
Right.
sometimes I'll even have the audiobook and the book with me, so I'm fully immersed into the
I've
world.
wondered about that, actually. Like,
That's probably my favorite thing to do.
okay, so you
Hmm.
read as you listen.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder
Hmm.
what people did there. For me, I'm listening as I'm doing other things.
I've actually I do that as well.
Um,
I go to the gym with my audiobook. I When I was working at the previous bar establishment I was at, whenever I would do my opening or closing duties, I would stick on my headphones and just listen to my audiobook.
right.
But you know, sometimes you can get distracted by things and then you have to sort of rewind it. But
Right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
but when you're like listening and reading, you're fully in this. You're not missing a thing.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I've had to rewind an hour's worth of an audiobook because I completely lost where I was because of a distraction outside of the audiobook. Okay. Um, so you say you're working on a video game for another project. Are you planning
Mhm.
on this book series being adapted into the game itself as like a downloadable content type of thing or what?
Yeah, I mean, I would love for that. So currently the plan is that it's going to be for sort of the prequel of the main story that I'm currently writing. But, things could change. I mean, I'm always to sort of building the world into its own thing where you could have multiple different timelines
Hmm.
and multiple different stories within it. It's always something that I'm thinking about.
Hmm.
Um, just no updates at the moment because we've been working on some other really cool projects as well that
Yeah.
can't really
And we don't
discuss
want to
here.
give this away. Like there has to be a reason to buy and read, right?
Exactly.
Okay. What's your favorite genre to write?
This is the only genre that I've written
Okay.
so far. It's always been just fantasy,
Romantic
romancy.
fantasy.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm only a couple years in. I've been working on a couple of these stories, but they all sort of fit that same sort of genre.
Hmm.
And that's sort of what I'm sticking with at the moment. But it always changes the more you read, the more things that you learn about like what kind of writing styles and reading styles that you discover. So
Hmm.
I could maybe in a couple years I could completely change my mindset and go into the whole thriller, mystery, all modern day. That
All right.
I'm never opposed to it, but at the moment all I'm consuming and all I'm writing is sort of this genre.
Romantic fantasy.
Absolutely. It's
The
always
genre
been
that never
something,
dies.
it'll never die.
It
And
won't.
I am keen on keeping it that way.
If it's up to me, I
If
will be
it's
the
up to me,
trailblazer.
absolutely.
Okay, so different kind of question now. Has there ever been a moment or moments where you doubted yourself?
100%.
How do you, what do you do to overcome that doubt?
I just sort of take a step back and sort of remember why I'm writing this. I mean, not
Mhm.
exactly why I'm writing this, but what I love so much about it. And if people don't like it, they don't like it. This is just something that like I'm newly pursuing.
Mhm.
And I know I'll like make mistakes here and there, but I'm trying to really push those thoughts away and just really focus on what I enjoy and what I think is best for my characters and everything. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm I understand that a lot of people have different perspectives and different sort of there will always be criticism, but I just sort of have to push away those thoughts and just focus on this what I'm doing and why I love it.
I think that's well said. I kind of think we need criticism as writers
Oh, 100%.
because
Absolutely.
otherwise there's no improvement, right? Like we just do whatever we want. Now there's a difference between criticism and trolls. You
Exactly.
know, the
Yeah.
trolls we ignore. The people who
Yeah, if
just this sucks and that's it, and we ignore those people.
absolutely. And if somebody is wanting to say like, hey, like, have you thought about instead of doing it this way, then you would want to do it this way. I'm always open to criticism. If
Hmm.
if something doesn't work, I'm always open to like
For sure.
finding out why and what I can do to improve on my writing skills. I mean, I haven't been writing for very long, so I know I'm going to be making some mistakes.
How
Yeah,
long have
I
you been
just
writing, by the way?
well, this is actually so I dabbled a little bit back in college. I mean, I remember I wrote a couple chapters on a Peter Pan story that I was interested in writing.
Hmm.
But then I forgot about that for a while. I just sort of stopped, and then and then if that was when was that? 2018, I would say. And then I started writing this story in 2024. So, yeah,
So,
six
are we
years.
counting the Peter Pan story, or do you not count the
Yeah.
Peter Pan story?
Uh, I've I still have it. I'm opening, I'm open to maybe going back into and see
Okay.
if I can pull some things out of that. But I don't think I'll count that.
So you've been so
Um,
you've been writing for 6 years then. 6 to 8 years, we'll say.
mm, maybe.
Like seriously writing, not dabbling.
Seriously, writing, I would say two.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
we'll go 2 years then.
yeah,
Because everything else, we could seriously dabble in architecture. It doesn't mean we're an architect. Okay, so for anybody, I mean, you said you're relatively new. For anybody who is new and maybe your story inspires them, what would you tell them?
if you're having doubts about it, just start. Just start. You never really know until you actually like start putting it onto paper.
Hmm.
Because as I've said before, I would put little notes here and there. I never really considered it for a long time. And but if something is sort of sticking to you and you're not really, and that thought isn't going away, and you are interested in seeing what it could become, just start writing. Just putting in even just notes, writing in your notes of what this would look like, and just yeah, just try it. And if you don't like it, then you don't like it. But you never really know until you try.
I love that. It's like a theme for life. Because so many people, like,
Absolutely.
I talk to so many writers every day, and they kind of are stuck in this should I or shouldn't I, like on the fence. Because again,
Absolutely.
there's no promises. And I don't know the future, so it's not like I can sit here and go, well, it worked for these 300 other authors, so it's going to work for you. What we don't see is the 30,000 other authors who it didn't work for because of one thing or another. They didn't plan it out well, they didn't get the editing, whatever. And so, and that horror story comes out and people are kind of stuck in intimidation mode. But it's so important, like you said, you have to start and then build from where you're starting.
Absolutely.
And criticism's
Yeah.
going to come. The trolls are always going to be out there.
hmm
Internet does a lot for trolls,
Yep.
but as trailblazers in the romantasy genre as you are, we have to push through, right?
Exactly. I mean, my mom has been saying for years, you miss 100% of the chances you don't take.
Wayne Gretzky, right? Wasn't that Gretzky who said that too?
Maybe,
Famous
probably.
hockey player.
I mean, that's just always something that my mom has been sort of instilling in me for a long time, but it had to come from somewhere.
Sure. That's great advice. Tell your mother I said thank you. Okay. So if you had a dream project for your writing, for your stuff, what would that
hmm
look like?
A dream project. What do you mean by that? I mean, because I'm always just sort of writing things that come into my mind, but is there something else that you mean by that?
Like Netflix calls and says they want to turn this into an anime series. That would be a dream. Or
I mean, that would be really cool. I mean, I don't watch anime. I've dabbled in a couple, but I don't really watch it. I would love if there's a if people really like a story that I've made and a lot of people want to actually see it come to life, I am always open for that. I am 100% down for that. Yeah.
so just kind of whatever happens, how you're not
It,
really saying this would be the dream. You're saying the dream could be from here to anybody who wants to bring it to life. That's the dream.
exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
hmm
All right. And where can people follow your journey and keep up with you and what you're doing and what you're creating?
I am on socials. You can follow me on TikTok or Instagram. I'm thinking about creating maybe a website to put in any updates on on my writing journey as well. So, and anything if I do end up doing that, you'll hear about it on my social media.
So you're open to people just reaching out to you on Instagram and TikTok, just
Absolutely. Send me a message.
wow, that's rare. Most people are like, go to, my managers.
I mean, eventually,
Sure.
but right now, send me a message.
That's awesome. And what's your TikTok and Instagram handle?
They're both actually my name, Emmanuelle Vaughan.
And that's Emmanuelle.
Yes.
And that's
And then
Vaughn
Vaughan
with an A at the end, or
with the A, yes. There are other spellings of Vaughan without the A, but mine does have the A. So Vaughan.
have you decided on a pen name, or are you just going to use your
I
very
think I'm
fancy
just gonna
sounding
use
name?
my name. I think I'm just gonna use my name.
It is a cool name. Like it's cool to say, like Emmanuel. It sounds like, a movie
Yeah.
star.
And I mean, so far, as I can tell, I'm the only person with that name, so I might as well use it.
Yeah, I've met Emmanuels, like
Yes,
the boys, but not
yes.
Emmanuels.
Yes, because the male French spelling Emmanuel is just with one L,
Right.
so it's just EL, whereas the female is ELLE. And I've actually met quite a few male Emmanuels, but I actually haven't come across an Emmanuel female in person. I know they're out there, but I have not personally met them.
Yeah. I think because your name is actually French, right?
It is. Yes, I
Yeah.
am. I am part French.
Yeah, I heard your French coming out during the interview, during
It'll
some of
come
our
out.
talk. How many languages do you speak?
Just two at the moment, but
French and
I've
English.
dabbled in Spanish for a long time because I traveled to Mexico on and off most of my life because my late grandparents resided in Mexico for almost 30 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I love Mexico. It's sort of like my second home country in a way. Um, but it's difficult to fully grasp the language. I think a lot of people say that learning Spanish, if you know French, is easy, but I think my brain kind of gets confused because there are similar
Yeah.
words here and there. But I one if I could honestly, if I could have one superpower, it'd be to know all languages and know and have and like be able to read and write every single language in the world. That would be something
That is
that
a very rare super. Nobody ever says that.
I
We're
know.
all like fly, invisibility,
Fly,
walk through
invisibility, read
walls.
minds,
Yeah. Nobody says being a linguist, like complete linguist, all
complete linguist,
languages.
even dead languages. So I can go to ruins, for example, Egypt, and
Mhm.
read all the ruins, all the script and everything, learn about any dead languages, any lost translations, because I'm always I always want to know things.
Right.
That's just something that I really want to do.
That would be interesting. Like you'd be able to tell people like, actually, that's not what this means. And then the
Yeah.
truth can come out about, all those hieroglyphics and things. That would be interesting. Well, Emmanuel Vaughn, any final thoughts?
No, I'm really happy to have connected with you, and I'm really excited about the journey that I'm taking with my writing, and we shall see what happens.
Yeah. And it's really good. It's really good. I am very much enjoying what you've created so far, and I think a lot of other people will as well. So,
Thank you.
thank you.